The following is a presentation of The Day.
Live from Lyme, Old Lyme High School, it's CIAC Division V second round action as the Grasso Tech Eagles travel from Groton, Connecticut over the bridge and all the way to Old Lyme to take on the number 3 seeded Old Lyme Wildcats, and we've got all the action live for you on game day. Tonight's game is brought to you by Reynolds Subaru, also by Boats Incorporated. Since 1959, Boats Incorporated is Connecticut's award-winning boat dealership located at 133 Main Street in Niantic, Connecticut. Boats Inc. is your trusted source for all things boating, selling Grady White, Parker, and Sportsman boats, as well as Yamaha outboards. The dealership also has a 175 slip marina, which gives boaters access to some of the best fishing and boating in the Northeast. 65 years, Boats Incorporated. And by the Connecticut Intensity boys basketball travel program out of southeastern Connecticut. Kids from Norwich, New London, Groton, Ledyard, and surrounding towns, grades 4 to 12, travel through Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, and Maryland. Looking for boys that want to develop and work on their game, visit them on Facebook at CT Intensity AAU Basketball. Casey O'Neill along with the coach, Chris Giusti. Last night we were in an unbelievable atmosphere in North Stonington. The Where is Game Day Today trip brings us here to Old Lyme for a matchup for two teams, neither of whom are from the ECC, but both of whom are sort of very familiar to us.
Yeah, and two upstart programs, both coaches, Coach Strong from Grasso Tech, Coach Sheffield from Lyme Old Lyme, have got these programs trending in the right direction. This is Grasso Tech's first state tournament appearance since 2016. It's Lyme Old Lyme's first state tournament appearance since 2020. Contrasting styles tonight, Casey. We like that. Styles make fight. We have the up-tempo style of the Eagles from Grasso Tech versus the methodical half-court style of Lyme Old Lyme Wildcats.
If the two coaches' names sound familiar to you, well, they should. Tim Strong is now at his third school in the last 6 years and has done a nice job in places that he's been and is really trying to build something here at Grasso Tech. If Brady Sheffield's name sounds familiar with you, it's because like last week, he was playing for the Lyme Old Lyme team that we covered on game day back when they were led by Player of the Year, Aiden Using. And so he's the first game day player that we've done who's now being done as a head coach. So both coaches familiar in their own right.
Yeah, and Coach Sheffield and I share that sour taste as we both had successful teams, him as a player, me as a coach back in 2020 when COVID canceled our seasons. That Old Lyme team that he played on, the last to qualify for the state tournament, they very well would have cut down the nets in the Division V tournament that year. And he said earlier tonight, that's what he's building for, a chance to do it as a coach. And he's got his team in a great position tonight. They are the 3 seed in the Division V tournament with a 16-6 record. Last time they played, though, of concern was 9 days ago. He said mostly used that time to get people healthy and going through some sickness and some injuries. So they haven't played in a while, whereas the Grasso Tech Eagles were able to play the other night, defeating Hartford Magnet on Tuesday in Groton.
Lots of games on the schedule. We're getting closer and closer to crunch time here in the state tournament. We'll be having conversations throughout the course of this one about where the teams are and who's got what. But right now, we will take a moment as we honor America with our national anthem. Well, I'm certainly inspired. And when I get inspired, I think fondly of some freshly squeezed juice. What are the keys to tonight's game?
Well, Casey, for Grasso Tech, speed it up the tempo. The faster the better. Disrupt Old Lyme style with aggressive and fast play. Defense equals points. Need to be able to create offense with defense. Force turnovers to get easy transition shots. And 5 on the glass. Must commit to getting defensive rebounds, box out, and limit the Wildcats to 1 shot per possession. For Lyme Old Lyme, slow it down. Control tempo with disciplined half-court offense and defense. Don't let Grasso style force you into bad shot attempts. Value the ball. Absolutely cannot have live ball turnovers and allow Grasso to get transition opportunities and dominate inside, own the paint, get the ball inside for easy baskets, and attack the boards for extra shots from offensive rebounds.
Well, he said styles make fights, and this one is going to be Grasso's attempt to make this thing a track meet, Old Lyme's attempt to stay disciplined. Leland Hine will jump it up against Cariz Johnson. Johnson wins the tap and will have the first possession with the Eagles.
And the Wildcats open up, man-to-man.
Kick out, wide open three, Stavesky no good. Rebound comes down to Sahadi, and Old Lyme will have their first possession of the game.
Wildcats opening up here in a 2-3 zone.
Old Lyme, nice cut to the basket, and a little 5-footer in the lane from Sahadi. Charles Sahadi gets the first basket of the ballgame. Big screen, freed up Johnson for a second. Now back to Johnson, yellow shoes and all. Floater is good. Cariz Johnson, he's a 1,000-point scorer for a reason. The kid absolutely can put the ball in the basket.
A nice floater there, good non-call with the contact.
Old Lyme very methodical, gets it up. Open three in the corner, no good. Tipped, kept alive by Curtis Reardon. And then there's Jack Porter knocking down a triple. Good possession for the Wildcats.
It's the offensive rebound. It's one of the best times to shoot the three. You get the kick out, you're squared up, knocks it down.
Open look from the corner, in and out from Stavesky. He's their shooter. He's 0 for 2 thus far.
Good looks from both teams so far tonight. Eagles in this 2-3 zone.
Good look again, and a good touch, in and out. Hine grabs the rebound, it's knocked out of bounds, but that's twice that Curtis Reardon has found and/or Old Lyme. Sahadi, they found that soft spot in the zone already.
That was one of the keys to the game, 5 on the glass. Grasso's got to make sure they team rebounds.
Another three, no good from Porter. Stavesky runs the other way, hangs in the air off the glass. Nick Stavesky cuts the lead to 1.
A 2-2-1, 3/4 court trap here from the Eagles.
Good hands from Hine. Hine's a big kid. Wide body, he's gonna be a lot banging down there with Cha-Cha. Great look to Hine, blocked by Johnson. Johnson has it now, guarded and overshoots. Good defense from Curtis Reardon. Trapped in the corner, no place to go, but gets it back up top. 3, she's gonna be short. Johnson will have the rebound. Joseph Moore drives, kick out, 3, strong from Gemely. Rebound, strong from Moore.
Old Lyme will look to slow it down a little bit now. Got a little frenetic for them the last couple possessions.
They're finding the soft. They're doing a great job finding the soft spot in the zone. Tie up on the floor. It'll stay here. But I got to give Old Lyme credit. I mean, we saw last night how Sheehan, excellent job with it, gave fits to Wheeler, trying to get that ball in there, into that soft spot. But Old Lyme committed to attacking the zone that way.
And Old Lyme has some size inside.
3, no good. Hine kept it alive and then knocks it out of bounds as he was battling with Moore.
So Old Lyme has been content to shoot a bunch of threes. They've taken 4 already.
And every time they've gotten into the soft spot, foul on Hine. Away from the basket as Johnson got bumped, so Grasso will inbound.
First foul of the game, 4 minutes in.
Johnson, Staveski. Wild shot, no good. Hine with a strong rebound. 1 and done for the Eagles.
Hine has been a one-man rebounding machine so far for the Wildcats.
Wide body. Johnson intercepts and gets tripped at half court. That's great anticipation from Chris Johnson.
Yeah, and that's a tough pass to make against a 2-3 zone. A cross-court pass from the corner, very easy to read. Grasso Tech sitting on that type of pass, looking to pick it off.
Rome Brown and Kelvin Paulino into the game. Paulino Familia. Johnson, good awareness. Got the floater off and then reaches in for the steal. Now attacks and scores. I can tell you right now, Chris Johnson's a special player.
Chris with the kiss. 2 more points for the Eagles.
And he's going to intercept this pass in the other direction. Great anticipation. Drive, kick. Staveski pulls up, and we're going to get a reach foul over the top on Rome Brown.
Yeah, excellent closeout that time by Old Lyme. Forced a bad shot, and a good technical box out forces the over the back.
Edward Fisk Jr. Fisk into the ball game for Old Lyme. Big freshman, 6'3", wide body.
Yeah, he's usually a starter coming off an ankle injury. He's been rehabbing that in the last 9 days since they lost in the Shoreline semis. So if he's anywhere near full strength, that he's going to be a weapon for the Wildcats.
He wants the ball. Instead, they opt for the 3. No good. Long rebound. Johnson keeps it for Grasso. Shoots it ahead. Baseline drive. No good from Staveski. Nice look underneath to Hine, trying to bully his way to the basket. Instead, kicks out for the open 3, too strong. If Old Lyme could make 3-pointers, they'd be up 20 points right now.
Yeah, they're 1 of 6 from 3-point lands. They've only attempted 2 2-point shots and 6 3-point shots.
Jerry Santiago into the ball game for Grasso. Staveski will have a seat. Almost a steal from Grasso. Instead, they get the rebound off the Sahadi miss. Santiago with the basketball. Back to Johnson. And hands, good job there from Old Lyme. Now Johnson drives. Gets a bump, but they're going to call the travel first.
And good defense there from the Wildcats.
You got to like the Brady Sheffield look right there. That's a Juicy-esque style point.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was coaching JV when I looked like that. He's starting his career young.
Well, he looks like he was playing JV about 6 months ago, but out of bounds off of the foot of Sahadi. Another turnover this time. Grasso Tech will take over, and Staveski checks back into the ballgame. Joseph Moore coming off the floor for Grasso.
Late arriving crowd here, Casey. This is going to be a capacity one.
Fashionably late crowd here at Old Lyme.
A 6:30 start. Usually most games start at 7, so it's possible time got mixed up.
In and out. Hine with the rebound. In the corner. Open look three. Back iron strong. Grasso looking to run. Paulino. Soft touch. And Grasso Tech with a 3-point lead.
Yeah, right now, Old Lyme is just being tempted into taking those threes. If they're really patient, they can really pound the ball inside. Grasso does not have a lot of size in the game right now.
Hine, good post position. Got Rome Brown to draw the foul, and he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, right on cue. Feed the big man. Let's try to get some easy shots inside. Cha-Cha was out. He's coming back in, but got to recognize when you get that mismatch and pound the ball inside.
Low scoring first quarter, minute and 2 seconds remaining. Second one is up and good from Hine. Here is Johnson. Drives. Spins. Nice look to Cha-Cha. Couldn't get it to go down. Tipped around. And Cha-Cha slides it to Staveski for the layup. Good pressure. Trying to dribble through it, can't do it. There's the pass. Hine wants it on the block. Instead, free throw line. They get it. But the miss, couldn't get it to go down, was Fisk. Staveski drives, finds Cha-Cha. Basket is good. Ethan Cha-Cha. Right at the buzzer, we're going to get a 2-shot foul. 0.7 seconds remaining. And with a 6-point Grasso lead, that's exactly what Old Lyme needed.
Yeah, get some at the free throw line here, settle it down, go into the quarter break, be able to regroup.
So Fisk, the freshman, get 2. One more for Fisk. And the friendly touch gets Old Lyme to within 4. Good if it goes from three-quarter court. No good. We're at the end of one. 4-point Grasso Tech lead against the home Old Lyme Wildcats. We'll be back with the second quarter action. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
At Reynolds Subaru, our commitment to the community is just as important as our commitment to our valued customers.
We have a passion for helping others in the lower Connecticut River Valley. Giving back has been a family tradition since 1859.
Reynolds Subaru on beautiful Hamburg Cove, Lyme, Connecticut.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. I love the paw print right on the middle of the court. Great look at it there here at Old Lyme High School. The Wildcats trail the number 14 Grasso Tech Eagles by 4. Juice, what are your thoughts of what I would consider to be an ugly shooting first quarter?
Yeah, Old Lyme fell in love with the 3. 2 of 11 from the field, 1 of 7 from the three-point line. Grasso got a lot more shots up, 6 of 16. They didn't make a 3 either. So between both teams, 1 of 10 three-point shooting. The key for Old Lyme is simple, I think. They just got to get the ball inside. For Grasso, keep doing what they're doing, but they got to keep team rebounding. The second half of that first quarter, they did a much better job of limiting the offensive rebounds from Lyme Old Lyme. And that's going to be the key all night. They cannot let Lyme Old Lyme get offensive rebounds.
I think if Lyme Old Lyme has a shooter, get him in the game and see if he can make some. Otherwise, go with that big lineup and just pound, pound, pound. Johnson misses the floater, other direction. And that's a good look. Oliver Wyman just into the ball game for Old Lyme. That's the look. That's the one we got to see, right? We got to see that elbow in all day long.
Yep, and look for the high-low or take that jump shot if nobody's going to cover you.
A little bit sloppy. Old Lyme gets the turnover. Pump fake. Johnson with the block. Fisk draws contact. Staveski goes down hard. I think he got the wind knocked out of him on that one. He got hit right with the head of Fisk, and Fisk will shoot 2.
That was a beautiful play by Fisk. The old land on 2, pump fake, kind of lean in, draw some contact. That's what you need to do to manufacture some points when you're not shooting the ball well. Get to the free throw line, take a deep breath. Old Lyme's half-court defense has been fine. They just have not been able to get into a rhythm on offense, and Grasso has just been able to get more shots up.
So while they attend to the injured Grasso player, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's 12:10. Grasso Tech on top. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Here at Game Day, we're proud to bring you unrivaled video coverage of local high school sports, all of it free for you to watch. These videos are not free for us to produce, though. If you'd like to ensure that we can keep covering your school and your teams, there's a few ways that you can support us. Go over to patreon.com/theday and sign up to make a small recurring contribution. Think of it as a tip to the Game Day crew for what they do. Want to show your support in a more visible way? Hit up our merch store and pick up some Game Day gear in your school colors. Our camera operators are always looking for those shirts and hoodies in the crowd, and you may see yourself on our next live stream. We get a lot of support from businesses in our community, and if you'd like to join them as a sponsor, send us a message and we can connect you with our advertising staff. Finally, The Day is the organization behind everything we do here at Game Day. If you want to support The Day's community journalism, consider a print or digital subscription at theday.com/subscribe.
Fisk at the line with a chance to tie the ball game up, and on cue misses the first one, so 12-10 remains the lead for Grasso Tech. Second one is good, and it's a one-point game. Grasso has not found the basket here in the last couple of trips.
The half-court D is solid from Old Lyme. They're long. They have long arms, getting passing lanes. This guy's got to start cooking.
That one slapped out of bounds. It'll stay with Grasso. I mean, you can see that when things get a little hectic, they look for him, right? The Cariz is the way they settle things down. And so if he gets cooking, yes, but if I'm Lyme Old Lyme, I could see the kind of the chips. I got to see some cracks in the paint. Good hands, but the foul will be called on Paulino.
Yeah, I don't know what Coach Sheffield said, but definitely the game plan this quarter has been, let's get to the basket. They've already shot 2 free throws. They're going to go shoot 2 more. Have not attempted a 3-point shot this quarter.
Coleman Curtis Reardon at the line, shooting 2 for Lyme Old Lyme. And that one's no good. I think if I'm defending Grasso, I'm going to not let Cariz beat me, so to speak. The other 4 guys are going to someone's going to have to do it without him. You know, they're looking to him even when they're trapped. Good offensive rebound and put back from Fisk. Old Lyme's back on top by a point.
There's that offensive rebound. Can't let that happen. Got to have good free throw box out.
Johnson hangs in the air. Bank shot, no good. Rebound comes down to Old Lyme. They're going to push. Other direction. Layup, no good, but there's an offensive rebound from Sahadi. Fisk drives, no good. Another offensive rebound for Old Lyme. Fisk drives baseline. Dances past Cha-Cha and scores.
Again, shot fake, land on two, pump fake, get the guy to fly by, get the easy layup. Fundamental basketball, puts the Wildcats up 3.
3-point Wildcat lead. A full timeout has been called by Tim Strong. He is fired up right now because he does not like the energy, I think, more than anything, of his team.
Here's the hard pump fake, and you just can't. If you're going to let them go by, you got to have good help side there. Cha-Cha's got to cut off that baseline. So that has been the strategy so far, Casey, is get the ball to the basket. I like it.
The good Grasso Tech offense was 2 separate sets. The drive, kick out for the 3, and even though Stavesky missed, they were good look 3s. I don't mind that. Then the other was the drive, bounce pass to Cha-Cha, a couple layups around the basket. The bad Grasso offense has been sort of dribble penetration without purpose and some awkward floaters, and there's no second chance opportunities for him. I mean, Old Lyme is controlling the glass on both sides. And once Old Lyme figured out that every time they shoot it inside the 3-point line, they should have their hand slapped. I mean, they can win this thing never taking a shot outside of 12 feet.
Agreed. I wouldn't take another 3-point shot unless you have to.
Was it in Hoosiers, right? Three passes minimum. I'm thinking if I'm Coach Sheffield, I'm like, next guy that shoots a 3 is in the student section immediately afterwards. I like the backdoor cut, but nothing there. Gemely out of bounds, and it'll go back over to Old Lyme.
And this is where Grasso can turn the tide, though. They have a variety of different presses that they can put in, and they cause a turnover there. Nope, it's going to stay with the Wildcats.
Officials, Mike Calabrese and Mike Geary, and I think what they're saying is that when Johnson cut off the pass, it went on the end line before Old Lyme put it on the end line themselves.
Grasso staying in the 2-3 zone.
Fisk for 3, good! He's a difference maker. You said he's coming off the bench. He's been a starter. It shows. Biggest lead is 6 for Old Lyme.
But I like the quick attack right back. Don't let Old Lyme set up in their half-court D. Carissa attacking early draws the foul.
Old Lyme's going to send Porter into the game. Curtis Reardon will take a seat. A 12-0 run right now for Old Lyme. Penetration from Paulino, but the bounce pass was kicked, staying here with Grasso.
Yeah, good idea. Looking for the bounce pass inside to Cha-Cha.
They get it inbound, and they do, dangerously so. But Kelvin Paulino now passes it off to Jerry Santiago. Good hands from Old Lyme. Cha-Cha out of bounds, and you can see where the problems are right now for Grasso.
And they haven't been able to get shots. Only 2 shot attempts this quarter, whereas they had 16 in the first quarter.
Bryce Johnson checking into the game for Grasso Tech. 6'2" senior center. And Fisk is going to have a seat no, he's not going to have a seat. He's just going to go over and talk to his coach.
Grasso's got to be able to create some turnovers out of this full court press.
Good news, Stavesky's back in the game for Grasso as well. There's the trap spot. Now once Old Lyme gets settled, they've gotten great shots. But there's a nice hands from Johnson. Turnover coming the other direction now. Turning on the Jets, but can't get anything to go down. Other direction now, here comes Porter. No good. It'll be off of Bryce Johnson, so it'll stay Old Lyme basketball.
Yeah, I think Grasso's got to find a way to get Johnson the ball on offense and get him shots. He hasn't shot it enough.
Three-pointer, no good. But rebound and putback, no good. Old Lyme is absolutely winning the glass game. Grasso needs a basket right now. Foul's going to be called on Wyman for Old Lyme. And that'll put Bryce Johnson at the line to shoot 2 for Grasso Tech.
Yeah, well, just like we said in the first quarter when Old Lyme was down, get to the free throw line, get a chance to take a deep breath, make some free throws here. The clock stopped.
A lot of action tonight with ECC teams around the state, from St. Bernard's in Division 1 to Turtelot in Division 5. They're all over the place. Fitch, Waterford, a lot of games on tap tonight. We'll get you as many scores as we can. Grasso staying in the zone. Old Lyme has been attacking it in the middle. Corner, Wyman. And a tie-up underneath. As Hine got the ball taken, and it'll stay with Old Lyme. Porter will reset the offense for Old Lyme. Shot clock down, gonna have to get it off, and they did not. That is a shot clock violation, so good defense from Grasso Tech.
Yeah, good defensive possession. I thought on the inbounds pass, they could have passed it into Hine. He had good position. I don't know why they kicked it out, but good defense from the Eagles.
Swing, three-pointer launched and no good. Out of bounds off of Grasso. I think Johnson, I don't want to say, I never encourage a player to be selfish, but I think that for the next 3 minutes and 45 seconds, he needs to be a little selfish.
He's made all the right plays. He's been very unselfish, but Grasso Tech hasn't scored this quarter.
And that's how they need to do it. He's going to have to take it a little bit on his hands. Great look underneath. Left-handed by Hine is a little strong. Now Johnson drives. He's making all the right passes, but I think he's got to shoot the basketball. Hanging in the air is Santiago, gets it blocked out of bounds. 21 on the clock, it'll stay with Grasso Tech.
Grasso Tech still scoreless this quarter. 0 for 5 from the fields, 0 for 2 from the free throw line.
Staveski pulls up, too strong. Got a couple of scores. In the third quarter with 6 minutes remaining, Waterford with a 39-33 lead over East Haven. And in the second quarter with about 5:35 remaining, Fitch 30, Seymour 16.
Falcons soaring.
Long three, no good. And what an athletic play from Staveski. It'll stay with Grasso. That's a beautiful play by Nick Staveski, getting the left hand on the ball and being able to throw it off of Old Lyme.
If Grasso could find a way to get a basket here, I mean, they really dodged a bullet so far, having not scored this entire quarter, but they're still in the game.
looking for a turnover, and instead a 30-second timeout called by Old Lyme. So let's talk for a second. You've got St. Bernard playing Division I game. You've got Waterford playing in a Division III game. You got Fitch playing in a division, or is Waterford in a division? You got Fitch playing as well. You've got Turtelot playing in a game tonight. Rank for me the most likely winners in those 4 games. You're most confident about which of them?
Well, I mean, you gave
Fitch
me
with a 14-point lead.
He gave me the cheat there. Yeah, with Fitch up 14. I mean, I'm taking it. So,
all right.
I mean, it would have been St. Bernard. I just love the way that Mark Jones has his Saints playing. If the biggest thing I'm concerned about with St. B's is they had that long layoff. They haven't played since last Tuesday, the same that the Wildcats of Old Lyme.
And I think it's showing.
It showed in the
them.
first quarter, and they kind of got it together now. But that's my biggest concern with St. Bernard. But the Falcons are soaring, that's for sure.
Don't sleep on my Turtelot Tigers down there in Division 5. Just about 7 minutes without a point for Grasso. Chris Johnson goes up high for the rebound. Drives to the basket, spins, hangs, athletic, can't get it to go. But oh, cha-cha with the tip. And that's what they needed desperately. It's to 4.
Yeah, and Old Lyme has missed their last 6 shots. So I thought Grasso is fortunate right now. They're still in this game.
3 strong, but right there, Hine in the perfect spot for the offensive rebound and putback. I mean, I think Old Lyme's thinking they can't shoot worse than this, and they still have a lead. Johnson, no call. Old Lyme's gonna run. Great hands, though, from Santiago as he stripped Dylan Painter.
Yeah, tremendous play to save a layup and also create a turnover. What Grasso has not been able to do is create turnovers that lead to points. And that's what I think they're going to have to find a way to do unless they get hot from the three-point arc.
Rome Brown back in the game. Georgie Rogers checking in the game. I think right now, Coach Strong, because he's playing that frenetic style, not only is he subbing in everybody, I think he's trying to find a group on the floor that works. Georgie Rogers bumped on his way to the basket. You know how that can be when you go 10 deep. Sometimes it's which 5 is going to be the most effective group, and right now he needs somebody who can score.
Yeah.
I think Staveski still is their second best option after Johnson.
We got to get Johnson going to his left.
Early score late in the first, St. Bernard's 31, Crosby 27. Turnover here by Grasso, and it'll be back to Lyme. Old Lyme.
No freebies in Division I.
No, that's the gauntlet. When you name the schools that St. Bernard's would have to beat to get to the final, you know, Crosby, Colby, Ridgefield. It's like, you know, who's who of Division I basketball. Yeah. That's just to get there.
Yeah, Crosby's the easiest.
By far.
The largest school in Waterbury, the easiest.
Nice reverse touch from Hine. Well, there no will be. Down to a minute. Johnson, floater, short. The lead is 8. Fisk, bank shot, no good. Rebound comes down to Grasso. Staveski hangs in the air. Basket is good, and the foul. Just what they needed. The lead is cut to 6, and Nick Staveski will go to the line to shoot 1.
Yeah, desperately needed that. Staveski going strong to his right. The contact, the kiss, the deuce, and the damage.
And because of the early nature of it, they will have another chance. They'll get the ball back here, shot clock notwithstanding. A turnover, though, back and forth it goes. Grasso trying to make it as ugly as possible. And we're going to get three seconds. And it'll be back to Grasso with 30 seconds left. Shot clock's off, up to them. They're not normally the last shot type of team, but I think where they are right now, a last shot would probably be pretty good.
Yeah, that's my philosophy. I always like the last shot.
It looks like they're going to try to do it, isolating with Cariz Johnson. Sahadi's on him. Across it goes. Three-pointer from Staveski is good, and boy, did they need that. At the buzzer, no good, and we're at halftime. A big three-pointer from Nick Staveski has gotten Grasso Tech to within 3. It was 8 a second ago. A two-pointer and then a three-pointer from Staveski, and just like that, it's down to 3. So as we head to halftime, Grasso Tech has trimmed it up. We've got ourselves a ball game. We're at halftime at Old Lyme High School. A 3-point Wildcat lead. We'll be back with second half action. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
At Reynolds Subaru, our commitment to the community is just as important as our commitment to our valued customers.
We have a passion for helping others in the lower Connecticut River Valley. Giving back has been a family tradition since 1859.
Reynolds Subaru on beautiful Hamburg Cove, Lyme, Connecticut.
It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. At number 8, Mercy Basketball's Madison Bonini off to the races against New London, Hoop and the Harm as Mercy takes down the Whalers. At number 7, St. Thomas More Basketball, Dante Green with the big throwdown against Brewster Academy. At number 6, it might be Cromwell Basketball, but on this night it was a house of pain for Morgan. Vic Payne, Cromwell wins the Shoreline. At number 5, DeAndre Bransford, the Division II ECC Championship, layup at the buzzer, strike a pose. At number 4, Clark Lane Basketball versus Benny Dover Jackson in the Eastern Connecticut Middle School Final. We're in overtime, and Jamison Barlow with the game winner. At number 3, the Fitch cheerleading squad. Let's get a quick toss to Lib, then high to high tick-tock, ending in a full twisting cradle dismount. Oh, that's right, we got the cheerleading terms. Fitch co-ed state champions. At number 2, how about some more cheerleading talk? East Lyme hit their first partner stunt, full giddy-ups to a stretch, were winded down to a high twist cradle. Vikings win Class L state champions. But at number 1, Gianni Torres, St. Bernard Fencing takes first place in the men's epee at the Connecticut Fencing Championship. Congratulations, Gianni. Those are your Grade 8 Plays of the Week. Send us your clips and maybe you can make next week's Grade 8.
Sienna.
Knocks it down. Sienna Knowles drills it. Look at the happiness there.
The bank is open, Casey.
Look in the other direction. Marshall going coast to coast. Look at these. Joey Marshall's on fire. NFA going to run.
Breakaway again for Condori Mesa.
Boom, splash. He knows that's nothing but net.
Is it
NFA 5.
nice shot?
Looks like Carly Santos.
Santos. First try. Look at the joy.
Knocking down a shot there for Putnam. Grant Hart.
Mimi.
Knocks it down. Bank shot. Had quite the shooting afternoon, but look, New London leaking.
Oh, yes. With
And
the layup.
Jaden Molina was leaking. You got to get, that's that transition
gotta
defense.
Get back.
And Francis will take it up. He is not shy about running the floor. Gives it up to Malachi Reed. Francis and Reed, that's a dynamic duo out on the floor right now for Fitch. Kevin Fitzpatrick, little strong, gets his own rebound. Again, he's got it. Kevin Fitzpatrick with the bucket and the flex. Rebound to Zahari, back to Lucier. Got it! Jackson Lucier with a high arcer knocks it down for Stonington. Wes Piella pushed by his partner, Carolyn Bear.
She should put on a clinic.
Wes, nothing but net. Fist pump, splash time. Coming the other direction, running the break, Zab Negron.
Nice touch.
Molina from downtown.
Way downtown.
Shooter shoot. Theodore. Backboard.
Nice.
Nick Theodore.
Oh,
yeah, a little fist pump.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, Nick. Tramontana knocks it down, gets a handful. Listen, how great is it that you get a high five from the official,
From the
too?
official,
I mean,
yeah.
that says it all. I mean, Kessler up ahead. Zardes finishes. Wheeler pressure causing problems for Sheehan. Totaling. And all the way to the basket goes Jake O'Brien. Biggest lead of the game for Sheehan is 4. Brewer drives. Wild left hand is good. Sometimes it just goes in the basket. 3 seconds. Zardes. Long shot at the buzzer. Got it! Keith Zardes with the triple at the halftime buzzer. Puts Wheeler on top. 23-22 to the delight of the home crowd. And a beautiful give and go to the cutting Crowell Massey. I'd like to see Wheeler get Brewer at the free throw line. Instead, he says, I'm going to drain the NBA 3 and get us tied up at 26. He's been really timely with them, and right on cue, a fabulous look. Kessler to the cutting Montigny.
Oh, bonus time for Montigny.
Picks his dribble up, stutter steps, finds Brewer. Brewer, foul, basket is good. Hoop, harm, +1 coming for Zane Brewer.
The bank is open. The fadeaway bank shot.
Kessler pulls up for 3. Got it! Kyle Kessler. Pump fake, good hands from Montigny. O'Brien drives, and we're tied at 40. Good strip. Zardes, 2-on-1 with Kessler. Zardes finishes with the right hand over a Hodeling, and the lead is 4. Zardes drives. Wild shot off the glass is good. KZ gives Wheeler a 6-point lead. Brewer inbounds. He finds Montigny. What a great inbound play. Basket is good. And the foul. Kyle Montigny gives Wheeler a 6-point lead on a brilliantly designed Stephen Bailey special. There's Kessler. That's a design play ahead of the pack. Kyle Kessler puts the final nail in the coffin for Sheehan.
Here at Game Day, we're proud to bring you unrivaled video coverage of local high school sports, all of it free for you to watch. These videos are not free for us to produce them. If you'd like to ensure that we can keep covering your school and your teams, there's a few ways that you can support us. Go over to patreon.com/theday and sign up to make a small recurring contribution. Think of it as a tip to the Game Day crew for what they do. Want to show your support in a more visible way? Hit up our merch store and pick up some Game Day gear in your school colors. Our camera operators are always looking for those shirts and hoodies in the crowd, and you may see yourself on our next live stream. We get a lot of support from businesses in our community, and if you'd like to join them as a sponsor, send us a message and we can connect you with our advertising staff. Finally, The Day is the organization behind everything we do here at Game Day. If you want to support The Day's community journalism, consider a print or digital subscription at theday.com/subscribe.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
At Reynolds Subaru, our commitment to the community is just as important as our commitment to our valued customers.
We have a passion for helping others in the lower Connecticut River Valley. Giving back has been a family tradition since 1859.
Reynolds Subaru on beautiful Hamburg Cove, Lyme, Connecticut.
At halftime, a 3-point lead for the home team, Old Lyme. But thanks to this kick from Chris Johnson and three-pointer from Nick Staveski, Grasso's hasn't been this close in quite a while. What looked to be a disastrous second quarter for the Eagles turned out to at least be manageable as they've got it to 3.
Yeah, they went about 7 minutes without scoring. Most of the second quarter they didn't score. So really an opportunity lost for Old Lyme to take a stranglehold of this game, and now they've let Grasso Tech have some life. Neither team shooting the ball well. Grasso 9 of 28 and Old Lyme 8 of 28. So it's anyone's ball game at this point. It's going to come down to, I think, if Grasso could continue to make some timely threes, and if Old Lyme continues to say, well, maybe we won't throw it inside, we'll take some threes, I think Grasso could pull it out. But if Old Lyme is really dedicated to pounding the ball inside, I think they should be able to pull it out.
I mean, I can't imagine Old Lyme shooting worse than what they shot. They had open look after open look, and they just kept shooting those threes where they dominated on the glass. I got to think the message at halftime is stay on the glass. So we will see what materializes there. I want to give you the out-of-town scoreboard. At halftime, Fitch with a 6-point lead over Seymour. No surprise there.
No.
At halftime, St. Bernard with a 7-point lead on Crosby. No surprise there.
No.
Late in the ball game, with 1:40 left, Waterford with a 14-point lead over East Haven.
Battle tested. The Lancers.
This is a function. First of all, I can give you that in a nutshell. Why do you not want to play Waterford? If you were, when you're looking at your brackets, you say, why do I not want to play them? Bill Bassett, number one. You know this team's going to be well coached. They're two-time state. You're like, this is a team that's won state championships with this guy. I don't want to play those kinds of teams. Mm-hmm. Number two, they got a 6'10" kid who could play and a good point guard. I don't like that either. And then number three, they play in a good league and they play a good schedule. So, I think Waterford, this is not a surprise to me. I hope they hold on. Johnson for 3 to open the second half is strong. Rebound from Hine. We'll see what Old Lyme wants to do differently here to start the half.
They've played the game at this tempo. They're happy with it. But they got to do a little bit better job of getting the ball inside.
Dangerous spot in the corner. Here comes the trap. Dump down. Hine, he's in trouble. Shot clock down to 7. I don't know if they realize it yet. Gets it off just at the buzzer, and that was partially blocked from Joseph Moore. Another shot clock violation. There's the first one we've seen this year. 2 shot clock violations. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, Old Lyme has been methodical. They don't want to force shots, but at some point you got to take one.
Johnson. Stutter steps, drives baseline, hangs over the top of Hine, no good. Other direction, kick out. Quick 3, short. Hine battling with Cha-Cha. Rebound, Grasso. Gemely. Moore. Cha-Cha, no good. Rebound comes down to Sahadi. Sahadi, no good. Look at Hine. And we're going to get an offensive foul as Staveski took the charge on Sahadi.
All right, good job stepping in and taking the charge there.
I'm still not entirely sure what Grasso Tech's offensive adjustment is going to be. The length of Old Lyme is definitely causing them problems. I know what Old Lyme's adjustment's going to be. You're going to see them just continue to pound. I was ready to make the strip there. Out of bounds to Old Lyme.
A little bit different pressure now. 1-2, 1-1. Full court press. Trap the corner. That's not where you want to inbound it.
Dangerous spot. I thought the pivot foot was in trouble there.
Yeah. Definitely. Coach Strong thought so as well.
Drive to the basket by Porter was no good. Here comes Moore in the other direction. And a friendly touch from Staveski. 11 for Nick Staveski, and it's a 1-point lead for Old Lyme. Good look. Porter finishes it at the rim.
Good press break that time from Old Lyme.
Moore gets a screen, shoots a three. Good! Joseph Moore ties us at 24.
That was that timely three we were talking about at halftime. If the Eagles could hit those, they're going to be in great shape.
And that's a new shooter on the horizon. That was a confident stroke from Joseph Moore.
Yeah, they're going to have to find ways to get points because Old Lyme's done a good job containing Johnson tonight. Staveski has stepped up. And now the three-pointer from Moore.
Old Lyme dangerous, picking up the dribble. They're getting themselves into some bad spots. Old Lyme working for a shot in the paint, and there it is. Good look underneath to Hine.
He's impressive. I like his game.
Other direction. Cha-cha. Dance for me. Basket is good and the foul.
The big man with the touch and a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. All of a sudden we have an offensive explosion. We're in the mid-20s.
First one to 40?
I'd say I'd sign for that right now.
Free throw strong. We stay tied at 26.
Fisk in the game for Old Lyme.
Fisk back in the ballgame is definitely something of note. He was a spark for them in the first half. Old Lyme not keeping the ball protected. And a turnover as Staveski stripped it. Here goes Johnson. Spin, hang, no. Good rebound, Fisk. Look at Fisk go coast to coast. 12 for Fisk, and that one was easy.
Yeah, I think that was just a missed assignment there. See the good man-to-man defense from Old Lyme. A little aggressive there, though.
Porter banged into Staveski. Grasso's going to go small. We're going to see Johnson out of the game. So where's the scoring going to come from here? You got to think it's going to come from this guy, Joe Moore. Picks his dribble up. Bank shot, no good. Tipped, no good. Out of bounds, it'll go to Old Lyme.
Grasso's definitely picked up the pace, playing with a lot more energy this third quarter.
Good press break. Fisk, baseline, good defense. Grasso went straight up. No call.
Yeah, I love it. I love the no call there. Verticality. Grasso man stayed straight up.
Down 2 with their leading scorer on the bench. Moore, dangerous, throws it away. Old Lyme pushing. Blocking foul against Moore. And to the line will go Sahadi for 2.
Yeah, last couple Time's down. Old Lyme has found a way to kind of break some of this pressure. They weren't able to get a shot last possession. So see if Grasso mixes it up again, maybe falls back into a half-court defense to try and keep the ball out on the perimeter. When they've been able to keep Old Lyme out on the perimeter, Old Lyme hasn't been able to get a good look.
Johnson checks back into the game, replaces Rome Brown. Second one up and good. Sahadi gets the lead back to 4. Staveski drives, contact, and he'll shoot 2. Nick Staveski gets to the basket. Always a good way to get some offense.
Yeah, I like the way that Staveski's taking it to the hoop. It's with reckless abandon, so to speak, but it puts the onus on the official to make a call. Like, he's creating contact, but if the official feels that the defender is not in legal guarding position, then it's going to be a foul call.
Foul line has troubled Grasso Tech tonight, though. They need to do a better job from the line. Staveski makes 1 of 2, and lead is 3. Pressure from the Eagles.
Yeah, 2-2-1.
Old Lyme working in for a good shot. Bank is open. Wyman makes a deposit.
Yeah, good ball movement that time.
Moore for 3. Got it! Joseph Moore with 3 more.
That was a great pass by Johnson. Somebody's shoes off.
Johnson with the rebound. Up ahead, Staveski. Trying to find out whose shoe it's off. Oh, it's Coleman Curtis Reardon for Old Lyme with no shoe.
Get the ball to Johnson.
Staveski hangs in the air, no good. Strong rebound, Fisk. Fisk turns it over. Staveski going hard to the basket, and he's fouled by Sahadi, and he'll shoot 2. And I think now maybe Curtis Reardon can get his shoe on.
Yeah, but a couple possessions ago, we've talked about how Johnson has deferred the 1,000-point score for Grasso, has deferred pretty much all night long. He only has 4 points, and they're in this game, but honestly, he's playing a beautiful point guard game. If he has other guys on his team that can score, he's doing everything that he should be doing. That last play, that kick out for 3, I mean, that was a textbook point guard, eyes on the side of your head type of pass.
Because I enjoy the Frankenstein nature of sports, consider that Grasso Tech and St. Bernard's play together in a football co-op. How about if we threw Chris Johnson over at St. B's and added him to that mix?
He'd be finding shooters all night long.
Yeah, he'd have 15 assists a night. Fisk finds himself in a tough spot in the corner. Here comes the trap. Here comes the next trap, but Old Lyme breaks it. Shot clock is down to 15, and a travel against Sahadi. And hard to say, hard to believe, but Grasso Tech with a chance to take the lead. They've managed to just completely disrupt Old Lyme's rhythm. It's never, no 2 possessions look the same.
Well, the pressure is like molds. The longer it's there, the more damaging it becomes. So it's becoming more and more
Was that
difficult.
Moles or mold?
Molds.
Mold like the green stuff in your wall, or
Yes.
the little furry animals that eat up your yard?
It could be, I guess.
Because I think it's
either.
both.
Yeah, it could be both. I'm more afraid of molds, but yeah, I guess some people could be afraid of moles. Maybe you.
Yeah, you don't live. You don't have a big, big mole population living in your yard. Nice look underneath, and Fisk finishes.
Well, that's what they got to do to attack that zone. High-low pass, pump fake, use the backboard.
Johnson drives. Oh, what a beautiful look underneath. Finds his teammate, Paulino. 1 point game. Fisk with the left hand. They got no answer for him. 16 for Fisk.
Yeah, every time he gets it on the block, he's a problem. Grasso might want to consider coming out of that when they are able to get a basket.
10 seconds on the third quarter clock. Johnson, crossover. Hangs in the air, kicks, whistle, and a foul. And that's going to put Johnson on the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, that's the 5th team foul. It wasn't a foul in the act of shooting, but because it's the 5th team foul on Lyme Old Lyme, he gets the 2 shots. New rule for this year in high school basketball. 5 team fouls, 2 shots. Chance to cut it to 1.
2 for Cariz Johnson. And that has been the Achilles heel more than anything for Grasso. The free throw shooting has been suspect. Johnson, strong with the second one as well. Old Lyme, good if it goes. Oh, front rim, almost, Sahadi almost brought the house down. We're at the end of 3, 3-point lead for the home team. 4th quarter action when we come back. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
At Reynolds Subaru, our commitment to the community is just as important as our commitment to our valued customers.
We have a passion for helping others in the lower Connecticut River Valley. Giving back has been a family tradition since 1859.
Reynolds Subaru on beautiful Hamburg Cove, Lyme, Connecticut.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. We're back, 4th quarter about to start here at Old Lyme High School. The home team with a 3-point lead, thanks in large part to the play of Eddie Fisk, who's been dynamite coming off the bench. A starter, rehabbing an ankle injury, and he has been a difference maker for the Wildcats.
Yeah, a great job by Grasso to kind of get momentum, but every time they were seemingly going to take control of this game and finally get the lead, Old Lyme was able to find Fisk on the block. But you nailed it before the break, Casey. Grasso Tech unofficially 2 of 12 from the free throw line tonight. That's just the kind of statistic that, makes you hang your head as a coach. So still 8 minutes left, so they still can overcome that. But they definitely changed the tenor of this game with their energy that they brought out of the locker room. Old Lyme was able to withstand it and hold this 3-point lead going into the 4th.
East Catholic struggling with Staples, up 1. Fitch with a 5-point lead against Seymour. St. Bernard's with a lead of only 3 now against Crosby. Johnson out of the pack. Little floater is good. Cuts the lead to 1. Congratulations, Bill Bassett and the Waterford High School Lancers. 70-49 over East Haven, a big win on the road. Fisk picks up the dribble. Wide open. 3-pointer, no good. All night long, Leland Hine has been a big-time player on the glass. He and Fisk are double trouble for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it's going to come down to, can Grasso keep them off the boards? Can Old Lyme continue to dominate inside?
We get a foul here against Fisk as he pushed Staveski. And would you say incredulous? Is that the look, that the incredulity?
Yeah, I just think, it's not so much that he fouled him, it's that he didn't give Staveski a spot to land. and that's why he was called for the foul.
And out of bounds went Staveski, kind of like just gave up too. It's kind of like, I'm going. Santiago with the basketball. Moore has had a couple big threes, that time blocked. Grasso seems to be able to get it to this one possession and can't quite get it any closer. Dump down. Hine, they swing it around. And in and out, but shooting two will be Sahadi.
Yeah, good ball movement again, but it starts with getting the ball inside. Get the ball inside, it collapses the zone. Then you're able to kick it out, swing it, and find gaps. It starts with getting the ball inside.
St. Bernard's and Crosby tied at 41. Crosby came to play in that one. 4-point lead here for Old Lyme. Elias Sahadi knocks them both down. Leads back to 5.
Yeah, Old Lyme 4-4 from the free throw line this half.
Johnson kicks it. Staveski for 3, no good. Rebound to Sahadi. Fisk all the way to the basket. And Tim Strong needs a timeout as the lead just shot up to 7.
Yeah, good decision by Fisk. He definitely could have taken that 3 that time. Waited for the closeout, used the pump fake, drove by, got the easy layup.
Game Day is brought to you by Reynolds Subaru. Also by Boats Incorporated. For 65 years, Boats Incorporated and their team of professionals have been committed to providing you and your family with the absolute best customer service in the industry. Boats Incorporated is located right on the boardwalk in Niantic, or you can go to boatsinc.com. Also by the Connecticut Intensity Boys Basketball Travel Program out of southeastern Connecticut. Kids from Norwich, New London, Groton, Ledyard, surrounding towns, grades 4 to 12, they're going to travel Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, Maryland. They're looking for boys that want to develop, work on their game. Visit them on Facebook at CT Intensity AAU Basketball. So, 6:15 remaining here, 7-point lead for Old Lyme. 2 big rules changes before the start of this season. Let's get your grade on these 2 rules changes. First one being the 35-second shot clock.
Love it. I've said this before. It's one thing that I missed in my coaching days. I think a lot of the things that we did would have benefited from having a shot clock with our changing defenses, our different kinds of looks that we would give teams. The second one, I'm assuming, is going to be the free throws.
No, I got to go back to the first one.
Okay.
Now, you're a teacher, I'm not.
Yep.
And it's been a long time since I've been in a class, but is love it a grade that you often assign in your class? Because when I asked you to give it a grade and you said love it, I'm just curious. At the end of the year, I don't know what the modern report card looks like.
You're right. I give it an A.
Right.
No such thing as an A+. It's an A.
I always room for improvement. And then, the other one, of course, is the 5 fouls, wiping clean at the end of the quarter, 2 shots only, no 1-and-1. Turnover maybe. On the floor, possession arrow favors Grasso, so it stays here.
I like it, so I'm going to give you a grade. I like it, so it's not going to be an A. I miss some of the intensity and the tension of the 1-and-1, but I still like it overall. I'm going to give it a B.
Yeah, I'm with you on the shot clock, and I'm with you on, I think the foul thing has been fine. And overall, I like it, but I miss the 1-and-1. I miss the idea that you need to make I just think that it has taken a little bit of juice that I like. But if you said to me, pass, fail, I'm giving it a pass. Inbounds up top, Staveski. They need a basket, down 7 at the 6-minute mark. He drives. A little bit strong. A break, though, as Hine hit it off the rim. It went back to Staveski, and he drains it.
He's been dynamite. Ever since he took that little shot in the first half, he was able to come back in, and he has been dynamite.
trap on Fisk. Dumped down to Hine, and he bullies his way, and Bryce Johnson is going to draw the foul.
Yeah, I just don't know how you stop that without getting in front of him. You can't let him get the ball that deep. You got to find a way to get some front side defense, whether it be three-quarter with an arm across his chest or full front with the body. You can't let him get the ball that deep in the paint.
And conversely, Old Lyme has started to get the mark at the free throw line.
Yeah, 5 of 5 this half from the stripe.
Not surprising, the big guys for Old Lyme leading the way, Fisk and Hine. 18 for Fisk, Hine with 11. Johnson hangs in the air, no good. Rebound comes down to Old Lyme. Wildcats are going to push. No good, but there's Hine on the offensive glass, and he's going to draw a foul.
He's just been a beast all night. Yeah, we saw it earlier. I was like, man, get this kid the ball inside. Just energetic, strong, and aggressive in there. He plays with a lot of activity.
Listed at 6'2", but he's a wide body, athletic 6'2".
Yeah.
Working it around the perimeter now. They find Fisk. I love the move. Good hands. Johnson strips it off of Fisk, but I love that decision by Fisk.
Yeah, and he'll learn that he can't keep it so low when he's going up. And that's what Grasso has to keep doing, trying to keep poke away and get steals. Still a lot of time left.
5:06 remaining, 7-point lead for Old Lyme, but Grasso with the ball. Johnson wants a screen, gets a double screen, looking for a guy to roll. Instead, crosses over and finds the cutting Johnson. Basket is good, and the bonus as he was fouled, and he goes to the line.
Chris, so smooth. He's just, it's like the game is going so slow for him. He knows how it's like he's playing chess. He's trying to set up the defenders to get his teammates open shots, and he continually does that. He's not forcing the issue.
His energy, affect, and sort of emotion is the same now that it was when there was 10 seconds into the game. He's just smooth, calm. But another missed free throw.
Yeah, it took the words out of my mouth. 2 of 13 now.
That's enough to lose sleep over.
Yeah, it really is.
Dump down, Hine. He'll go to the line.
When Hine hits the floor, you almost feel bad for the floor.
It's a nice floor, too. You don't want to see any
damage. This guy is cut from stone. And
I don't know if he plays football, but he should.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are looking for tight ends, I think, so sign him up. Sorry. I didn't get my obligatory Jets reference in this season.
Not for nothing. I mean, you got a Jets reference on one side. I got a Giants fan on the other side of me. I don't think either one of you should be.
That's the first missed free throw. Let's get back focused here.
They get a sub. Oliver Wyman's going to come into the game. Looks like he's coming in for Hine. Hine misses both. Moore. Zips in the corner. 3-ball. Good! Big 3 from Kelvin Paulino Familia.
That was huge. The 2 missed free throws, the first 2 misses this half from the Wildcats, and the Eagles make them pay. Now a quick trap.
They had Fisk trapped, and instead, he's going to go shoot. So Fisk was trapped. They call the foul on Grasso, and that will send Fisk to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, once again, every time Grasso gets to this point, Old Lyme's able to find a way to keep them in arm's length.
In and out. End of 3. Crosby has taken the lead against St. Bernard's on the little school on the hill. They're up 2.
That would be one of the biggest upsets that I would have seen coming.
Second one's good, leads 3. And Johnson with an ill-advised pass. Fisk picks it off. No good. Moore gets it to his teammate Paulino, and out of bounds. It's knocked away by Old Lyme. It'll stay with the Eagles.
Yeah, I think Fisk let Grasso off the hook that possession with the quick shot. It was a wide open shot. Can't blame him for that. Quick shot though. Gets the Eagles the ball back.
In the lane, high arcer from Johnson, no good. Old Lyme with the rebound. Wyman with the miss. And Coach Tim Strong wants a timeout. With 3:32 remaining, his team down 3, but they have the basketball.
And I think Coach Strong's coached a great game. You know, his team hasn't really been able to find a rhythm, but they're scrapping and they're in it right now. And shooting 2 of 13 from the free throw line. You know, if they made 6 of those 13, they'd have the lead. So the way that his team has shot the ball, to have the ball right now only down 3, I think you got a sign for that. And now it comes down to execution in these last 3 minutes. And as I said before, pressure mounts not only mentally but physically. So when you put some pressure on the ball late in the game, it leads to a lot more bad decisions than it does earlier in the game.
I think, honestly, that Grasso, this is where I got to see 25 make a play. Here he goes to the basket, gets his own rebound and put back, tips it to himself again, and he's going to get fouled. Well, I'd say there is making a play.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Casey. He not only decided he was going to make a play, he willed himself to get the contact. Now, Old Lyme has a couple fouls to give, so it's going to be a baseline out of bounds.
Up top, Johnson. Stavesky, who's been so good, drives, tries to get contact, no. The rebound comes down to the Wildcats. Fisk leaked. He's ahead of everybody. Blocked at the rim by Johnson. Oh, did Cariz Johnson get up high for the block, but then they throw it away.
Oh, man. That was the perfect opportunity to attack the basket after that block. Wow, he climbed the ladder, Casey. Pinned it on the Fisk layup attempt.
A small but vocal Grasso Tech crowd cheering on the Eagles. They want defense. The very raucous student section for Old Lyme is going to be cheering on Ed Fisk as he goes to the line here to shoot 2.
Yeah, and every foul for the rest of this game on Grasso will be 2 shots for the Wildcats. So yes, they want to pressure the ball, but no, they don't necessarily want to foul with still 2:55 left and give Old Lyme a chance to extend it to 2 possessions.
Fitch with a 5-point lead. It looks like 2 minutes and 18 seconds left in that one. Let's take a look at Cariz Johnson get up. And,
oh, baby.
I mean, he was on the rise.
Yes.
Fisk, one more. In and out, but we're going to get a lane violation on Saha and on Porter rather. So it wouldn't have counted either way.
And Old Lyme has missed 5 of their last 6 free throws, Casey. Who wants to win this game?
I had said first one to 50, right?
No, you said 40, but
we're extending it.
We had an offensive explosion.
Johnson pulls up strong, but underneath the rebound can't go down for Paulino. No one wants to get this thing in the basket. Fisk. travels.
That's where you got to land on too,
Right now.
and not let the referee have the opportunity to make that call.
Johnson, this is back to the same thing as before. Now Johnson needs to make a play. And they're double teaming him, and a foul on Fisk. So that'll put Old Lyme at at their max. So everything moving forward, every foul in the game moving forward is 2 shots. And 4 fouls on Fisk. And he's frustrated after 4th foul, because that was one of those ones where they were trying to trap, and I don't think he wanted to reach. Johnson goes right after him. Good defense, however, it won't go down. Other direction. Blocking foul, and Porter will shoot 2.
Yeah, Porter decided he was just going to attack the basket. Once again, just like we were talking about with Stavesky, you put the onus on the referee when you attack like that. If there's contact, you might get the foul call, and he did get it right there.
Jack Porter will shoot 2. And right now, neither team can make a free throw.
Man, Old Lyme has missed 6 of their last 7 free throws.
And a lane violation.
Yeah, I counted that as a miss.
Well, see, you're ahead of
No?
you're factoring in. You're ahead of
He missed it anyway.
That's true, he did. Does a lane violation count against the shooter as a miss?
It counts as a missed free throw, yeah.
That seems unfair. That one missed. Fisk got the offensive rebound. He missed. Stavesky, other direction. Basket's good, and the foul. Nick Stavesky, improbably, can tie the basketball game for Grasso Tech.
Unbelievable how missed shots this game have turned into opportunities for the other team. When Grasso misses an easy basket, Old Lyme's able to capitalize. When Old Lyme misses an easy attempt, Grasso's able to capitalize. And we've talked about this kid, Stavesky, coming in and playing with reckless abandon. He now has to make this free throw.
I think Sahadi might have done himself an injustice by going to the floor. I think if he stayed firm, it might have been a no call, because he kind of just winged him a little bit. But when he went down, like you said, it made the official have to make a call. Why would we want to make a free throw?
1-point game though. No foul needed.
Fisk is lucky he got away with one. Other side, Hine, basket, and the foul. He'll go to the line.
Coach Strong wanted to travel. A great decision by the Wildcats to get it into the big man. He's just so wide and strong. He gets the position. We've talked about this in other broadcasts, how you defend good post players. You have to meet them high. See, look how low he is.
And Fisk got away with an offensive foul that could have been called when he just lowered his shoulder if Stavesky had gone to the ground. But Hine is fine from the line, and the lead is 4. Timeout. Full, so we'll take a quick break. 4-point lead for Old Lyme, 1:48 remaining. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Here at Game Day, we're proud to bring you unrivaled video coverage of local high school sports, all of it free for you to watch. These videos are not free for us to produce them. If you'd like to ensure that we can keep covering your school and your teams, there's a few ways that you can support us. Go over to patreon.com/theday and sign up to make a small recurring contribution. Think of it as a tip to the Game Day crew for what they do. Want to show your support in a more visible way? Hit up our merch store and pick up some Game Day gear in your school colors. Our camera operators are always looking for those shirts and hoodies in the crowd, and you may see yourself on our next live stream. We get a lot of support from businesses in our community, and if you'd like to join them as a sponsor, send us a message and we can connect you with our advertising staff. Finally, The Day is the organization behind everything we do here at Game Day. If you want to support The Day's community journalism, consider a print or digital subscription at theday.com/subscribe.
Probably the biggest possession of Grasso Tech's season right here, as they're down 4, and the clock is going to be down under 140 before they get their shot off.
Gotta look to draw contact. You're in the bonus.
Johnson all the way to the basket, no good. but it goes out of bounds and going to stay here with Grasso Tech. Johnson's gotten to the rim. They haven't been easy, but he hasn't been able to get any of them to go down.
And Johnson's so crafty, he kind of avoids contact. He almost like the ball in Stavetsky's hands because he just like bears into the opponent.
They get it into Johnson. Guarded by Sahadi. Goes baseline. Fisk cuts him off. Ball tipped and stolen by Elias Sahadi. He's fouled, and he'll shoot 2 with a chance to make it as much as a 6-point lead.
That good deflection there on the interior pass. Johnson thought that he had Ethan Cha-Cha open. The deflection led to the ball spilling out to the perimeter and chased down by Sahadi.
And after a dreadful run at the free throw line, Old Lyme has made the last couple. Those were confident. Lead is 6. Kick out. 3 ball. No. And a reach by Joseph Moore. And more free throws coming for Old Lyme. And this is where you can pull away.
Yeah, if you make your free throws, but still a lot of time left. So we'll see what the outcome of these 2 shots are. Whatever happens, make or miss, Grasso wants to get the first available shot, whether it be a 2 or a 3.
Sahadi knocks it down. Calmly, I might add.
So now they've made their last 4 free throws after going through a period where they had a dry spell.
Second one is good. That's the guy you want at the line. Lead is 8. Johnson pulls up for 3. No good. Rebound to Sahadi with 1:06 remaining. Grasso trying to trap. Fisk is trapped. And a timeout, Brady Sheffield with 54.6 seconds remaining.
And now it's about taking care of the basketball. Grasso's gonna have to try and trap, but they're in the bonus, so as long as they use their height advantage, which they have, keeping the ball high, moving it, the pivot foot, keeping it away from the defender, Grasso's gonna have to foul, and all you gotta do now is just make free throws.
St. Bernard's down 1 with about 4 minutes remaining left in that game. You know, and if you're Old Lyme and you do hold on to this one, this is one of those, you know what, we may have dodged a bullet. We didn't play great for a while, a little rusty, didn't shoot it great. Team, you know, came in with a style that doesn't suit us, and, you know, that's one of those things we talk about. How do you win tournaments? How do you advance in tournaments? You got to win a game where you don't play great. And I don't know that they played poorly, but I don't think they shot it great. But conversely, I don't think they turned it over as much as Grasso was hoping for.
Yeah, and I think as much as Grasso needed them to. I think that was one of the keys that I thought that Grasso needed to create some points off turnovers. They really weren't able to. They caught some turnovers, but most of those turnovers were dead ball turnovers, not live ball turnovers. So Grasso still had to go against Old Lyme's defense, which has been pretty stout tonight. Their half-court defense has been good. It's been solid. They haven't given up a lot of easy drive lanes. They gave up some open threes, but for the most part, pretty stout half-court man-to-man.
Fisk will shoot 2. So if we were to get a Turtle-Lot Old Lyme final, I only bring it up, 26-24 final in that one? Or? Fisk misses the second, but the lead is 9. Hard to believe it was just a 1-point game. Johnson misses. Nothing going down for Old Lyme. We'll be interested to see if they trap and foul, or if they let this one play out. And Grasso Tech is going to elect not to foul. Shot clock is a factor, but it doesn't matter. Grasso Tech is going to let this one ride out. The steal to Staveski, pulls up for three, no good. Rebound comes down, and that will do it. The Old Lyme Wildcats have survived the challenge from the Grasso Tech Eagles, and they will advance in front of a very passionate home crowd here at Old Lyme High School. The Wildcats will advance despite a very game effort from Grasso Tech. We want to thank our sponsors for tonight's game, Reynolds Subaru. Just to be clear, I did drive my Crosstrek bought at Reynolds Subaru here to the game tonight. Also, Boats Incorporated. Since 1959, Boats Incorporated is Connecticut's award-winning boat dealership, located at 133 Main Street in Niantic, Connecticut. They are your trusted source for all things boating, selling. Grady White, Parker, Sportsman Boats, as well as Yamaha Outboards. And are thankful to our other sponsor, the Connecticut Intensity Boys Basketball Travel Program out of southeastern Connecticut. If you've got a boy grade 4 to 12 and you want to get them to advance and develop, go to Facebook and find CT Intensity AAU Basketball. Chris Giusti is going to be with the head coach, Brady Sheffield. The last time he was on game day, he was on the court playing for Old Lyme. Now his team advanced despite a game effort from Grasso Tech. Juice, take it away.
All right, we're here with Coach Brady Sheffield. Coach, it was a rough start. You hadn't played in 9 days. Took a lot of threes in the first quarter, then settled down, got the ball inside, and started to get some traction. Talk about the win.
It was a grinded out win. It wasn't the best game we've played all year. It was ugly at times, and we could play a lot better, and we need to be a lot better if we want to keep making a run in this tournament. But down the stretch, a lot of stops in the fourth quarter, way to get one shot and out, something we talk about a lot. You know, our one shot defense, rebound and go the other way. That closing lineup we had stepped up huge, and just able to grind out a win on our home floor.
Yeah, a lot of really resiliency tonight. They kept punching, you guys kept taking punches, and you were able to make free throws and make those plays down the stretch. Talk about this team's character and the resiliency that they have.
Resiliency is the perfect word. We've been a group that we fight back no matter what's happening all year long. We're led by a group of 5 seniors that have been working at this every single day as hard as they can, and they set the tone for us. And these guys just never give up. They continue to play as hard as they can, and when stuff's not going our way, you know, we pride ourselves on our ability to just keep going and keep trying to do what we do. They took us out of our game. The tempo got high like we talked about before the game, and you know, it's not the type of tempo that we want to play at, but it was just a good job settling down in the fourth quarter and getting stops, which is where we want to be as a defensive end.
You have a lot of seniors, but tonight you were led by a freshman in scoring. I can get Eddie Fisk over here. Eddie Fisk is our player of the game. Eddie had 20 points, freshman, first time playing in a state tournament game. The last time these guys were in a state tournament game, you were, I think, in 5th grade. So talk about the experience tonight and coming off an injury and getting out there and getting 20.
I mean, it's been hard coming off an injury with all this practice, coming back, getting my win back, but it was electric, like the fans and everything, and fucking teamwork. It was amazing.
Yeah, and talk about the play of your big guys inside, getting the rebounds, continue to get extra shots.
Yeah, those extra points just fueled our offense with kick-out threes and just a team effort.
Coach, if I could bring you back in here for a second, if you didn't hear, you guys are going to get Summers next in the next round and talk about what you're going to prepare for in that quarterfinal matchup.
Summers is a great team. I went and scouted them up at East Windsor last week, and I watched them on the film 5-6 times. You know, they move the ball really well. They cut really well. It's going to be hard because we like to get up in the passing lanes. We're going to have to be very disciplined with our help position. Going to have contact on those backdoor cutters. And defensively, they got They play good man-to-man. They throw some presses out. They play a zone just like the one we saw tonight. So we got a lot of work to do in the next couple days here to get ready for Summers. But they're a hell of a team, and we can't wait to compete.
Survive and advance. Great job tonight. Old Lyme Wildcats advance to the quarterfinals.
Thanks, Juice. Well, it was quite an environment here. Never let down. We want to thank everybody from Old Lyme High School. We want to thank Grasso Tech for traveling and for all the work that was put in to getting us off the ground tonight here for the Old Lyme Wildcats with an advanced win over the Grasso Tech Eagles. Bringing the coach one last time. We'll try to get one last set of out-of-town scores for you. I thought, Brady Sheffield, obviously wise beyond his years, his assessment of his team, he clearly knows his team well, but also doing his homework on Summers. I think they saw that matchup as something that was coming down their way. How does a game like this help with a game like that?
Oh, I mean, it allows you to take a deep breath. You had a game where you probably didn't play your best, definitely didn't shoot your best, but you were able to grind it out. And those are we've talked about it all the time, Casey. You're going to have to find ways to win that you weren't able to win in the regular season. Other guys are going to have to step up. You're going to have to win with a different style of play, using different types of defenses or using different types of offenses. So tonight gives them a great opportunity to exhale. They hadn't played in so long. With the way that they are able to get the ball inside and their strength in holding the ball, I think they have a good shot.
Yeah, this team, I think you got the clunker out of the way, because that's also a tribute to what Grasso Tech's trying to do, right? I mean, they're trying to make the clunker. They wanted you to shoot threes, you did. They wanted you to start to run, you did. You could hear him say, we were starting to do all these things that weren't us, but when they settled in to be in them, I think in this particular, in D5, you're going to have a hard time. A lot of teams are going to struggle with Hine and Fisk. That size is going to be problematic for teams. So I think if they stay true to themselves, that game against Summers has a chance to be, a special game. And conversely, congratulations, Tim Strong and the group of Eagles advancing this far. Grasso Tech, he's trying to build something there, and this is certainly a foundational year for building something. As for us, we'll be back in action tomorrow night.
Okay.
We will be, I believe, is that game now officially at Fitch High School? Is that 100%? So we'll be at Fitch High School tomorrow night as Foreign comes down 95, hops over the bridge to Fitch High School, where they will play the home Wheeler Lions. Lions versus Lions, and in the Falcons' den. Nest? The Nest.
The Nest.
The Nest. So two Prides of Lions will compete in the Nest. And we will have it all for you tomorrow night on game day. So congratulations, Old Lyme. Thank you to everybody here. St. Bernard's was up 1 with 40 seconds remaining. We'll see up 3 with 13 seconds left if the Saints can hold on. Colby did pull out the win against against Wilbur Cross. So that St. Bernard at Colby matchup is still a possibility in the next round, although I think both teams stiffer competition tonight than they were expecting. So congratulations to Waterford High School with a big victory. Fitch was winning the last time we saw, so the ECC still alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow night from Fitch High School, Wheeler and Foreign. For Chris Giusti, Mike DeMauro, Peter Wappy, and the whole crew, I'm Casey O'Neill. You've been watching Game Day live on theday.com.